Hey guys, what up? Welcome back. Hopefully you guys can see me a little bit better. The last video that I did for my Sunday rituals, it was just really dark in this corner, but I'm hoping that this is a little bit brighter for you guys. So welcome back. It's VEDA that's vlogging every day this August, or videos every day this August. So make sure you guys subscribe for more of that. Go back and watch my other videos. I think we're, what day are we on? I think day 17. So go back and watch videos 1 through 17 and check that out. So I'm starting off with the rose water, rose petals. This is my tried and true that I'm using from Sprouts. Spritzing that all over the face. Skin is dry this weekend. It's supposed to be like 100 degrees this coming Wednesday, so we're preparing for that. Now, I just feel like this past weekend, along with like this past week and a half, I've been going to a lot of kind of like boss type events, kind of like more women centered, as well as like this past, earlier this past weekend, I went to the event for my church. And it was kind of just like a women's retreat a little bit, not necessarily like boss or work focused, but just really good messages nonetheless. And I feel like the main takeaway from it was that, you know, a lot of us are asking God for different things. A lot of us are looking to God to answer certain prayers that we've been praying for a really extended period of time. And pretty much the answer to the prayers is the process, and you changing and growing as a person and being able to handle more throughout that process. So I thought that was interesting because I don't know if you guys are familiar with the book, The Obstacle is the Way. By the way, this is the Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence by Cosmetic Prescription, or COS RX. If you guys haven't seen my review from that, check up in the link above. I'll link it there. But I've been using this kind of on and off. Well, actually, no, pretty consistently for the past, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks or so, maybe. But if you guys are familiar with that book, The Obstacle is the Way, it kind of just breaks down and explains a lot of us are kind of in this rush to get to the end of our journey, to get to our end goal, whatever that may be. And a lot of times not even realizing that the process, sorry if it's like trying to focus. Come on. There we go. Not even realizing that part of the process and learning and growing through that process, and you kind of becoming this stronger person, this more knowledgeable person that's knowledgeable about your field, that's knowledgeable about or just different things in your industry, that is part of the process, and that's going to be the thing that makes you strong enough to be able to handle those successes in the future. If you were to have success now, at the stage that you're at, maybe you're in the beginning stages and you've been wanting all these different dreams and goals and ambitions to happen, if you were just to receive that success now, you wouldn't be able to handle it. Side note, I just wanted to throw this in there because I was just thinking about it after I wrapped this video. I'm going to put this kind of in the middle. I was just talking about how The Obstacle is the Way, kind of like that book. And it's interesting because, sorry, the AC is about to kick on. My current job, I was really struggling with some of my coworkers, and this was kind of like on a regular basis. Like every time I went into work, I just had such anxiety. I was in such distress. I couldn't even eat sometimes. Like I couldn't even sleep. I was just so full of anxiety and frustration, just having to deal with this work environment and all like the craziness of having to deal with like just madness at work. And so I remember just like praying fervently, like, God, just please either move this person out or move me out, because I can't take it anymore. And lo and behold, that person ended up leaving, and I was like, oh dang, like thank God, this is amazing, praise him. And then it was like literally within a month and a half later, like, or was it a month and a half later? No, it was like several months later, I ended up having issues with like another coworker, and I was having that same anxiety and distress, and I just felt like it was a battle every single time that I went into the office, and it was so freaking frustrating. And there was just all this workplace drama, which I don't do because I'm just like, we're here to get a paycheck and go home. Like, why does it have to be this deep? Like, does anybody have any activities or any life outside of work? Like, I just don't understand. But for me, being an artistic person, like, the second I clock out, like I clock into like what I'm doing in my life. Like I clock into doing YouTube, I clock into editing videos and making music and making jewelry, and like I have this whole life outside of my 9-to-5 work. But a lot of those people did not. So it was whatever was happening in the workplace environment, they were just so caught up in, and it was just like it was life or death for them, and that drove me absolutely insane. So I remember praying again, just like, God, please move that person out or move me out. Just find some other place for me to go. Let this be the day that I quit and go full-time with YouTube, jewelry, music, freaking whatever. And lo and behold, again, 3-4 months later, that person leaves and goes to another department. And it was interesting because I remember praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. And I feel like right before the breakthrough hit where that person moved out to another department, I feel like God told me, like, regardless of who I move where, you're always going to feel this way in this job. And that mess hit me like a freaking ton of bricks, because a lot of times we think, oh, if this, sorry, my arm's getting tired. Let me switch over here. Because a lot of freaking times we think like, oh God, if you could just move out this one person, or move this situation, or move this obstacle, or this boulder, or, you know, whatever it may be. A lot of times we think that if God were just to make things magically disappear or magically reappear, God, just let this be the winning freaking lotto ticket. Whatever it may be that you're like wishing and praying for, God knows that whatever that is, if he gives it to you, it's not going to change your circumstance. And I feel like this is something that God's kind of giving me an insight in, because this is how he teaches me. And I know some people are like, I wish God would teach me that way. But honestly, like, I'm a living testimony that it freaking doesn't make a difference. Like, no matter how your circumstances change, if you don't change, if you don't grow, they're just going to feel freaking the same. And that's like point blank. Like, I've consistently, from the time I was little, asked God for specific things, and he's like, okay, let me just try you. You said that if you get this, that you're going to be like XYZ. And he'll give it to me for a brief period of time just to see. Just to see, because he already knows what's going to happen. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then 5 seconds later, I'm like, no, this is not great. This is terrible. And I feel like the Lord really speaks to me that way because of the fact that I've always been a kid who learns from other people's mistakes. Like, I'm one of those people that bounces back from mistakes and trial and error very, very quickly. Like, I'm not naturally, like, I wouldn't say I'm a hard-headed person when it comes to my relationship with God. Like, I've had a few moments here or there where I'm really, really stubborn, and God's like, all right, like, how many times do I have to tell you no? Or how many times do I have to do X, do, you know, whatever? Or how many times do I have to, you know, have this situation come up before you learn? Like, I'm not naturally hard-headed when it comes to my relationship with God, because I know I'm one of those people, I don't naturally like to put my hand in the fire. That's not fun for me. It's not like, let me push boundaries and see how far I can go. Like, that's not exciting for me. I don't like doing that. I like to avoid pain at all costs. I like to avoid confrontation at all costs. So I feel like this is kind of a special way that he kind of speaks to me and how our relationship is, because he knows that I'm going to be able to kind of figure it out. And for other people, it's not that way. I know a lot of people who have to put their hand in the fire several freaking times to be like, ooh, I know that one thing that I keep putting my hand in the fire on, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, that I don't need to be doing that again. So that shows me that the majority of our experiences that we have in life that are difficult only change when we change. Only change when we change. Like, really, really let that sit in. The experiences that you have in life that you are seeing as negative and are stopping you from getting where you want to be, a lot of the time it's you changing. And not saying that you're a bad person, not saying that you have character flaws, or you're not strong enough, or you're not disciplined enough, or, you know, these different things. But maybe it's just a slight tweak in something that you're doing, or maybe it's just you grasping something and being able to push forward a little bit more, just because you can see the finish line with a little bit more clarity than you did before. Maybe you saw it with dreamy eyes of, oh, this is my goal and my ambition and my dream, and God knew that once you got there, like, you weren't going to be happy. And so for maybe a fragment of time, he gives you like clarity towards a certain point to be able to kind of see what you're really aiming towards. And maybe just that slight change, just a few degrees to the left or to the right or whatever, makes all the difference for you. So I just wanted to add that in real quick. Sorry if this Sunday rituals ended up being a little bit longer than usual, but I felt like I just needed to say that. Now let me continue on in my process with my skincare stuff. So I thought that was kind of a very interesting takeaway, not just from my church's retreat that we did, but also from a lot of these boss events that I've been going to. I just think that that's kind of a really cool thing that's been coming up time and time again, because I know, like, this season of my life, I've been kind of asking God for a bunch of different things to happen. Trader Joe's jojoba oil mixed in with my brightening Andalou Naturals renewal cream. Love this stuff. And so I feel like I was very expectant for kind of like these bigger things to happen, and really learning that kind of the process is kind of the answer to that really helped kind of put things into perspective for me a little bit. and just showed me that I really want to go like that much harder because I'm expectant. Not like, oh, I'm hoping that these things will happen. No, I know that they're going to happen. And because of that, my hustle needs to match that expectation of me knowing that it's coming. So that's my main takeaway for y'all for today. And to prove that I'm serious about this, if I hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of this month, I'm giving away a $50 gift card. So make sure you guys subscribe for that. Comment below. Jump in there. Let me know what your ambitions are for this next 2 weeks or so for the end of this month. I know a lot of you guys are going back to school, or a lot of you guys might be coming back from vacation and going back to work. So what is it that you've been expecting out of life, whether it be God or whatever you believe? But what are you expecting from life that hasn't happened yet, and you're just kind of feeling a little weary, a little tired, a little burnt out a little bit? Comment below and let me know, and I'm going to jump in there and kind of dialogue with y'all about it a little bit. And I'm going to do a double or nothing. So if I do not hit the 3,000 subscribers by the end of this month, that means by the end of this year, I need to have hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm doubling that gift card. So we're going to go double or nothing. So what are your guys' goals and ambitions? Do you guys want to do double or nothing? Comment below. Let me know. But make sure you guys go back and subscribe and watch my other videos from VEDA, because I'm really excited that I've even made it this far. I honestly expected myself to tap out like a week ago. But like I said, I'm expecting these things to happen. So I have to stay on my hustle. So like this video if you want to see more. I'll be posting more as usual. Make sure to do well and be well, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.